All right, setting the levels right now, waiting to see if we're accurate, if we're on time. No, we did not have our intro music. Why? Because I fucked up and I can't get it right. Who knows what my problem is tonight? Well, no, it's not medication. I'm overly medicated, underly stimulated, and that means I am prepared to believe any lie you throw my way. I'll also believe the true stories, but I'm just letting you know I'm not even going to question what you're saying. If you tell me that Bigfoot abducted you, swam you to the bottom of the Marianas Trench where you found the Titan II submarine, I'm going to believe you. All right? That was a Ghostbusters thing. Oh, but my beautiful bride is here. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Wasn't that like a thing with Ghostbusters? We're here to believe you. So that's
something like that.
That should be I should have a button that I can press that goes, "We're here to believe you."
So tonight, I'm your only moderator. Tonight, I'll be on YouTube chat. Listening.
Wow.
Listening.
Now, wait a minute. Why are you the only moderator?
Oh, because I told them they didn't have to be here. And I'm on the Discord server. You're also checking out YouTube.
Well, I do. I do. For everyone listening, and I would say watching, but everybody who's on YouTube right now, you have a static image, and everyone's going, "I don't get it. What's going on with this image on here? Why is this? It's going to be that way the whole night." You're lucky that we're even broadcasting it. We were not going to be on YouTube. This is going to be a radio program only. However, my beautiful bride has insisted that for the first few shows, or maybe the first month or so, we'd like to bring people in from YouTube side. So, so we're going ahead and broadcasting this simulcasting on YouTube. Please pay attention, folks. You are going to have to listen on kgxtradio.com. That is the way this is going to go. Just to be clear. So for right now, but that also means I can pull up the chat. Otherwise, the radio show, kgxtradio.com, the chat will be in our Discord server, discord.gg/GenXTalks. You can find it on the website, genxtalks.com. Easy to get to. Click around. No cost. You can just jump right in. But that's where this is going to be. We're going to be broadcasting on the radio, taking questions and things on through the Discord server. And, of course, if you want to write this down, get a pen right now. 805-460-5603. What did I say? I said 805-460-5603. That is for you guys to text us. If you text me a story, just don't write a fucking paragraph, please. Just text a story. Say, this is what happened to me. I will call you. Yeah. I get to call you, get to be on the radio, and then everyone gets to hear, and then I'm going to have some questions for you afterwards. All right, so let me get my headphones on. My microphone is in place. My headphones are going. Can everybody hear us okay? Are we getting thumbs up? Are we getting 5x5s from Danny H or anybody right now? Because I'd love to hear that. Good. That means the radio's working how it's supposed to be. We're not in the red. We're in the yellow, right where you'd like us. And I see some people checking in. E-Fog's in here. Sweet. Spot and Stock.
Come on.
Fucking guy's got to get a better name. Christopher Sevick, Shasta Williams. Danny H. throwing around a blue wrench. Happy to have him here. Christopher Sevick. Noel or no eel or no E and the L.
Noel.
Whatever, man. It doesn't look right to me. Sovereign Fighter's in here and a bunch of others. So thank you guys for tuning in, listening in. Now, before we go anywhere, I want to tell you a story. And this is an alien weirdness story. And it was told to me, and you know the person.
I know the person?
Johnny Chiaravalo.
Oh.
Johnny Chiaravalo, who is the lead singer for When in Rome 2, or When in Rome. He goes on tour all over the world. Lead singer for them. He's a very talented lead singer. Was one of my good friends in high school. His politics got a little bit too whack for me, and we had a little bit of a confrontation, and that was the end of that. However, still consider him a friend. If he called me, I'd be there. Nonetheless, I'm going to tell you a story from the San Fernando Valley, just outside of Los Angeles in L.A. County. Johnny had a pool in his backyard. Okay. And you guys know Tori Randolph in the food thread. This is her brother. Ann Chiaravalo pops in from time to time in the thread here. That's her brother. And like I said, his name's Johnny Chiaravalo. He's a friend of mine. Now he tells me this story. He says, and we're sitting there, we're literally all sitting around his dinner table. His dad's there, his mom's there, and Johnny's being overly quiet one night. Okay. And we're sitting there and people are talking and they're eating dinner and he's just like not participating. Finally, his mother's trying to coax it out of him. Like, you okay? And what's going on? She's very loving and kind. His dad was a little bit more strict. Dad was a little bit like, hit your cane on the floor and go, what's wrong with you? So he says, I'm scared to go to sleep tonight. And of course, everyone's, his sisters and his mother's very concerned. I'm looking at him going, what the fuck are you talking about? You're scared to go to sleep. How old were we? Let's see. I want to say we were 14 or 15, we're not driving yet. And he says, here's what happened last night. I heard noise in the backyard, like tree branches breaking. And I said, you don't have any trees in your backyard. He goes, shut the fuck up. I said, okay. I guess he must have meant neighbors' trees up against, in a neighborhood, there's trees up against your wall. And anyway, Johnny says he heard tree branches breaking. Now, he had a little window out of his room, but it kind of faced the side of the house where the wall was. And if you guys you'd have to see the San Fernando Valley to know, because not every housing tract is built like this anymore, but the houses, the windows were right up against, it was very close to the walls. They're like 4 feet on each side or so. And this happened to be the side where they had a bunch of stuff. They had like birds over there. It was a bird sanctuary, but they ended up just quit feeding them, and the birds kept coming and bringing their own nests and food. So nobody ever went over there for anything. So Johnny looks out the window and he can't see anything but the side of the wall, a bunch of birds, and the neighbor's house. So he says he leaves his room, which was at the back of the house, goes all the way down into the living room, and looks out the sliding glass door towards the pool. They got a little patio there. Now, he said it took a minute to focus. It wasn't like a perfectly clear night. You couldn't see a lot. This is his story. He says, but the branches in the trees were still moving. He says, I didn't see anything on the ground. I didn't see anything in the trees. I could see pretty clear. The trees were pretty big, and neighbors' trees, but hanging over. He says, I couldn't see anything in there. And then he says, I noticed in the pool a perfectly round sphere. He said about as big as a bowling ball. And it's floating half underwater and half above the water. Now, he said, if that came through the trees and landed, there was no ripples in the water. He says, and he goes he said it was a little bit bigger than a bowling ball, perfectly round. So he walks outside, he turns on the pool light, and now he can see it really clear. He says it's motionless. It's sitting in the middle of the pool, half underwater, half above water. It looks metal. That's what he tells me. He said it looks like metal. So he goes around to the side of the house, and this is what amazes me, because Johnny at that point in life was scared of everything. He was literally scared of everything that turned a corner. So I couldn't imagine him even doing this. But he went, I think he said to get a pool skimmer or a pool brush. He was going to go move it or tap it or do something to it. He turns the corner, gets the pool brush or whatever, and as he's coming back, he says the object darted out of the pool at like a 45 away in his path. If it would have left the other direction towards the other houses, he goes, I wouldn't even have seen it. I would have just got back and it would have been gone. But it left, which would have been east, towards Cinnamon Kate's house. Darted, what?
Cinnamon Kate?
Kate's, yeah, Cinnamon Kate's. I think that was her name.
Oh, that's another story.
It's a whole other story. Don't bring that up. And the thing darted right to, like he saw it go whoom, flying by, like gush of air and everything. But when he says, this is the weird part, he turns and he looks in the pool where it was. Not a ripple of water in the pool at all. Nothing. He goes, I don't care how slowly you would have come out of that pool, no matter what. If you'd have lifted it out slowly, there's going to be a drop of water. There's going to be a ripple. And there wasn't anything. Now, everyone at his dinner table got their jaws on the ground listening to this story. I'm still eating. I'm one of his best friends. I know he's full of shit. I know he's making this whole thing up. There's no fucking way this is true. And because I don't believe him, he starts getting mad. He's like, why don't you believe me? I said, well, number one, I know you because you're full of shit. He's like, I'm not making this up. I go, you're making every word of it up. the whole night we go back to his room, doing our stuff, and he's playing on his little piano thing or his guitar or whatever, and we're just shooting the shit about whatever. And then as he stops, he goes, "So you really don't believe me?" I go, "Not a fucking word. Drop it. I'm never going to believe you." None of that ever happened. We almost got in a fist fight over it. Eventually, we dropped it. We kind of moved on as friends. But being the complete asshole I am, I don't know, about once a year when I remembered that story, we could be playing Frisbee. We used to play Ultimate Frisbee. A lot of us did at the parks. We could be at Balboa Park playing Ultimate Frisbee, and Johnny'd make a play or make a catch, and I'd remember the story, and I'd go, "Hey, Johnny, good job. I still don't believe you. You're still full of shit." He'd yell back from the other end of the field, "No, I'm not, asshole. No, I'm not." And I would needle him about that. So anyway, if you got some stuff you can read, there are some messages on the phone. So I'm going to look these up and see if there's anybody who wants us to give them a call, and you can take over right now, whatever you got to say.
Well, even though we're not on a live stream per se on YouTube, Star Roberts gifted 5 memberships again tonight.
Holy Santa Claus shit.
So there's 5 new members that can go behind the scenes.
That guy's going to go broke, making sure you guys get to take a peek behind the curtain. What a giver. Give. Man,
yeah, thank you
awesome.
so very much for that. There's 5 people that are going to be very happy when they see that. A lot of people just checking in on the Discord server. Gen X Talks has a Discord server that you can go in, and there's a live chat going on there.
Also, just so you know, I'm reading some of the messages on the shop phone, 805-460-5603. If you want to text us, and then we'll give you a call back about your story. Someone wanted to talk about the automotive industry failing. Okay. Yeah, wouldn't that be more of a world show or a bottom of the glass show?
Garage show.
Oh, a garage show. Yeah, good for a garage.
This is for conspiracy theories or unusual, mysterious things that have happened to you.
Yeah, like if you're looking at something in your life and going, "I don't fucking understand that." I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we could be here for 4 hours just on the topic of, why does Gen X mom love me? That is an unexplained mystery, is it not? We could dive into that for hours.
You lied, cheat, and stealed.
I did.
But actually, our very own Danny H has a great text to put in here. He says, text your strange or mysterious subjects of interest to 805-460-5603. Maybe the general calls you back to discuss it. That's
okay. There's one. This is Justin Bennett. He tried to get on the show last week, and we just ran out of time. And he typed in again. Now, I need a thumbs up or a thumbs down from you if we give Justin Bennett a call.
Okay.
He says, "I'll get on it for sure. Me and my wife were chased by a ghost truck down to Haunted Road years ago."
Ghost truck?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Now, do we call him?
Yeah, that's like Scooby-Doo. Like real life Scooby-Doo.
I was thinking it was more like Ichabod Crane.
Ooh, call him.
All right,
I want to hear this.
I'm calling him. All right, so
you got to find out where he's from, like where it happened.
I will. Well, you know what? You have a microphone. You can ask where you're from, how you following us, where'd you know. You could do all those silly things.
That's your job.
No, I never
Call
asked. I'm calling him right now.
Go ahead.
All right, Justin Bennett, we're going to give you a call.
Lots of people are thumbs up. They want to hear this story.
I didn't ask you guys.
Low Torque Shannon says maximum overdrive.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, General.
Hey, Justin, how the hell are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Well, I'm getting by being me. It's the only thing I'm good at anymore, so I'm sticking with it. Hey, so first of all, I'm supposed to ask you, where are you calling in from? What part of the world are you in?
So I'm in Indiana.
Okay. And you said you and your wife got chased by a ghost truck. Why don't you start by saying when this was, where you guys were? Give us some context and some detail, Justin, and the floor is yours, my man.
So this was 2017 or 2018. I don't remember exactly which year. It was probably beginning or end. I forget exactly. But we were actually living in Pennsylvania, and we were young, bored, stupid. So we started looking up urban legends because, that's what you do when you're 21 and you think you're invincible. So we found this urban legend that said that there was a haunted road somewhere down between, or not between, but around the border to Pennsylvania and Delaware.
All right.
So it was, middle of the night. We were bored, had nothing to do. I didn't have work the next day, so we said, screw it, let's go check it out.
Okay.
Well, we get down there.
Hold on. Your wife wanted to go with you on this.
Yeah, well, we weren't together at the time. We were just, hanging out.
But still, you had a chick who was like, "Fuck it, I'm in. Let's go." Right?
Yep.
That's
yeah.
badass.
We used to do all sorts
Okay.
of-
Yeah, man, that's fucking cool. All right, go. Continue, sir.
So yeah, we get down there to this haunted road. I don't remember the name of it, but it's dubbed the Devil's Road or Devil's Highway. We got down there. It was middle of the night, maybe midnight, 1:00. And we went up and down this road a couple times. Really didn't have any experience. I was very disappointed by it.
Can I ask you a question? Hold on. I'm going to ask you a question just because my brain. Now, you said you're trying to look up some stuff, some haunted stuff, and check it out like one does it at midnight when you got nothing to do. When you did a little homework on it, what was the research of what was haunted? I mean, I'm assuming it didn't say giant frogs with crowns on their heads come out and poke you in the eye with a pencil. You probably had some idea of what you were looking for. What had others said made this road haunted?
So there was several things, one of which was basically the story of the road is that there's a mansion on the road owned by the DuPont family. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the name or not.
Sure, yeah.
And basically on this road there was a bunch of, supposedly there was actually a tree where they'd sacrifice inbred children because they, had deformities. Supposedly, if you found this tree, you could see the faces of the children in the tree. We did not find the tree. What else was there? There was
you did have
legends of ghost trucks.
Yeah, you had some stories to go look for. You knew what you were looking for.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So, matter of fact, one of them was actually the story of the ghost trucks, which I didn't believe the first couple passes down the road. Because the story is if you get too close to the mansion, the ghost truck comes and chases you away to keep you away from their property or whatever the case may be.
Are there people still living in this mansion?
I don't know.
Okay.
We went down there in the middle of the night. It's not like I walked up and knocked on the door.
What you want to do? Ring the doorbell and goes there any? But you wanted to go check on things?
Something up, they might say that nobody.
I'm just saying. You just like
there.
Did you go? That's a chick question. Did you go ring the bell? Did they have? Was there a newspaper out front that no one had picked up yet?
So to try to answer your question, what the story is with all the inbreeding and trying to keep all their money and everything in the family, there probably is. If you go along with the legend, there probably is people still living there.
It's probably. I'm gonna go with Justin here. It's probably a Willy Wonka situation where you'd look over the fence, you can see the lights moving, but you don't go in there.
Oh,
that's my guess. All right, continue, sir.
So yeah, we had gone up and down the road maybe twice each way, and we had nothing happen to us. Nothing jumped out. Didn't get possessed. Didn't find this evil devil tree. We were getting ready to go home because we were kind of disappointed. And there was one road that, at least that we saw in the middle, like an adjacent road. So we turned down that to head home. And it was a straight shot from where we turned off of the supposedly haunted road.
Yeah, right.
So I know there was no one coming towards us. There was no one behind us. We turned down this road, and I don't know, maybe 15, 20 seconds later, there's just headlights blazing in my back window.
Whoa.
And I mean, like up high, like SUV pickup truck type height.
Now, you didn't pass anybody. You didn't pass anybody on the side of the road.
We hadn't seen anyone at all for the entire time that we were on this road.
All right.
So I took off, and I mean, we were going on. It was a residential street, so speed limit. You figure 30, 35 at the most. I was doing about 70.
Oh.
I was booking it, and this damn truck was keeping up with me. So.
Wow.
We get to the end of this adjacent road, and there's a stoplight there. I blew through the stoplight, turned on to the next road up there, pulled up a ways, and stopped because I wanted to see who the hell was chasing us.
Yeah.
So we sit there on the shoulder for a few minutes, and I'm just staring in the back window, waiting for them.
Can you still see the headlights?
Yeah, basically all the way up. I stopped paying attention when I saw the traffic light, so. They may have disappeared at some point, but within the last, I don't know, 2 minutes before we turned, because I saw the traffic light, and I was, like I said, I was booking it. I started paying attention to the traffic light and looking to make sure there wasn't any cross traffic I was going to fly out in front of. So I didn't specifically see them disappear, but nobody showed up at that light behind us. And
so
we actually turned around.
If you were doing 70 and those headlights were keeping up with you, even if they're a ways back, as soon as you slowed down, they should have been right on you. They should have been there in like seconds. It should have, that thing should have just caught up with you instantly.
You would think that. So that's why I assume it was one of those, ghost trucks that were part of the legend, because like I said, we turned and I sat there and waited for a few minutes. Didn't see anybody. Nobody popped up. Nobody came out and
wow.
Chased us down the next road. And we actually turned around and went back down that road because I thought, hey, you know what? Maybe it's just someone screwing with me.
Right. Yeah.
And if I go back down,
Justin,
they're probably going to do it again.
Justin, nobody's going to be hanging out there at midnight hoping somebody comes by so they can scare. They have to be out there every night for 3 years waiting for somebody just to come by to scare them.
The right thing. He went back because if they weren't supposed to be there, they would have been chased out again.
Yeah, I know. He went back.
He went back.
He goes, fuck it, I'm going back.
Yeah.
So what happened when you went back?
Yeah. Nothing. We went down the road back to this haunted road and went back down there to one of the end streets, and nothing happened after that.
Wow.
And no sight of another truck or nothing.
Here's what I want to add to this right now, because you guys might not. You see, when I go see a movie or I watch TV, I intentionally get absorbed in. I want to be part of it. Just in movies and TV, I do. I really want to be. I want to lose myself in the moment. It's the same with the story. You guys may say, okay, he's driving on the road, middle of the night, headlights came, big deal. Can you imagine what that's really like? I mean, you guys out there in the audience, listen to me for a second. You already get amped up on stories. You drive all the way over there. Now it's 1 o'clock in the morning, let's say. There is nobody around. There's nothing. And then all of a sudden you see headlights. Now, when you're sitting, you're sitting in your chair right now, that doesn't sound like much, but when you're in the moment, that gets your attention. I'm sure it got Justin's attention.
Well, let me interject. Like I said, it was a residential street off of that supposedly haunted road there.
Right.
So there was houses. It wasn't like a desolate area.
I don't mean that it was desolate, but I meant there was no activity. There wasn't people out washing their cars. There wasn't people checking their mailboxes. The way you're describing it, it's very quiet. So you notice something. Headlights become a big deal. Unless you're going to...
Especially when there's...
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, especially when there's no other vehicles on the road for the half hour that you're down there dicking around. All of a sudden,
and it's not like anybody pulls out of a residential neighborhood in their garage and decides to go 70 down the road after you. I mean, there's just when you're in the moment, it feels very different when it's cold and it's quiet and it's dark. Come on. Gen X Mom, looks like you got something to say.
Jeremy GX Late on Discord says, this is a true story. They made a movie documentary about it.
Holy Santa Claus shit.
Oh, wow. Look at that. See, I didn't, like I said, the only thing I experienced on that trip was the ghost truck chasing me the hell out of there.
Right.
So I don't know what is or isn't actually true about that place, but the legend says, and before anyone else tries to call me out, I know there's a creepypasta about this fucking road, but the legend was there first.
Have you gone back since that time?
No, I've wanted to, but now that I live in Indiana, it's kind of hard. It's a very far drive.
Okay. Well, I was just curious, even like the following weekend or the next night or something.
You know what he's got to do now? He's got to Google weird shit in Indiana and go check that out.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I've tried that, and there isn't a lot where I live. I mean, there's a couple things, but they're hours away from me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I used to do back in my early 20s. I used to go do shit like that all the time.
Far out, my man.
I'm the first guy to die in the horror movie. Let's just put it that way.
Thanks so much, Justin, for calling in. We really appreciate it. Great story.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yep.
Love the show.
Thank you. And that was Justin Bennett. It's kind of, you just don't think like, well, it's not a big yes, it is when you're there doing it. It's the middle of the night and it's quiet and it's dark and then headlights appear and they're doing 70 right after you. It gets your fucking attention. I don't care who you are. All right. Let's see. Okay.
What do we got?
Well, it's something from last week. Let me see if I can read it last week's correctly. This
By
is
the way,
from,
that thing is called the DuPont Cult House, according to
Really?
Jeremy.
the DuPont.
So if
Cult.
anybody wants to do some searching on that.
Okay, Radio Dude goes by the Dude. Next week, same time, same channel. Shadow person entered my semi
What?
to save me one night. And then down here,
Save
he writes,
him?
okay, General, I'm here. Look above from last week about shadow people.
Yeah.
Should we call the Dude?
Yeah, called the
Call
dude.
the Dude about shadow
He abides.
people?
The dude abides.
The dude. Hey, nice pull. Nice pull.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I've seen The Big Lebowski a few times.
So, did you want to buy a rug for here just so you can tell me that it really ties the room together?
Yes. I did.
All right.
I found a rug. You just need to buy it.
I'll buy you the goddamn rug. Okay, so the Dude, we're giving a call right now. Let's see if he answers. 2 ringy dingies.
Hello, General.
Hey, so can we just call you the Dude? Because that's how you're in my phone.
Just dude. That's it.
Just Dude.
Just
hey,
Dude.
Dude, my wife wants to know what part of the world you're calling in from.
I guess tonight, Montana.
Oh, are we on the road?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Where did this incident happen?
In Colorado in 2013.
Oh, wow.
Not even that long ago. These are recent stories, man. All right, Dude, let everyone listening, we're waiting to hear your story. Give us a little background on what happened, and then the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, we were on a load going to California from the East Coast, and I was training at the time, and my student stopped just outside of Denver, Colorado, and to switch. And it was just one of those nights that we had to go over the Rockies. It was supposed to be snowing up there, not much, but a little bit of snow. So I'm like, okay, no coffee, nothing to drink, so I don't have to pull over and pee and all that.
Okay.
You know, just do about 5 or 6 hours, get over into Utah, and we're good. So we switched. We started going over the Rockies about an hour into it. We're all just doing about 45 miles an hour, just a line of us semis going over there. And it was like around 11 o'clock at night. And I've been following the semi with a logo of a big W on the back of the trailer. So we're just going. All of a sudden, now I've seen shadow people throughout my life. So
What is a shadow person? How would you describe that? Because I'm at a loss.
it's just a dark figure of a person.
Okay.
And they usually just walk through from like one wall to another wall, or sometimes they'll just stop and stare at you, but they don't really do much. They just kind of like appear and disappear real quick.
Okay, I got you.
So all of a sudden, 3 shadow people came, like if they were walking down the semi, but they came through the trailer.
Okay, hold on. You were following this guy. Were you guys stopped or were you guys moving?
No, we were all moving about 45 miles an hour, a little bit of snow, slush on the roadways.
And the W truck is in front of you still. You can see the back of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I'm with you now.
And, none of the semis are passing each other. We are just cruising along and just driving.
Okay.
And so all of a sudden, 3 shadow people appeared. And, of course, I like grabbed the steering wheel like, oh, shit. Oh, just shadow people just went right through them. Saw the heads coming through the cab area, right between the seats.
Yeah.
The front seats. And one of them jumped up into the passenger seat and then just disappeared. And the other 2 just kept going.
Holy shit.
And I could totally feel him there as person sitting there. Couldn't see it no more. Just knew it was there. Now, remember, I was training. My student is in the back sleeping.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think. Because when you said the seat was empty, I'm like, okay, the training kid must have been crashed out. I got you.
Right. So I'm driving, going, oh shit, and I'm like, oh no, you're not going to be in here. And I kind of like start telling it to get out.
Okay, now can I ask you a question? Why?
Yeah.
Why are they, so? If you wanted the shadow person out of your cab, does that mean your instinct was that he was bad or there to harm you? Or, I mean, didn't it cross your mind like that he might have had something to say? I mean, I'm just asking now because I've never seen one.
Yeah, I'm not for sure, so I just wanted it out. It's kind of like having a ghost. It's kind of like having a ghost.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want a ghost in your house. You tell it to get the hell out of your house.
They're not all Casper, and they're not all friendly.
You're right. Yeah. So all of a sudden, I had to pee like a racehorse. So I finally found a spot, pulled over, and it just wasn't one of those that you go out and a couple ounces comes out. You're pissing like a racehorse.
Whoa, yeah.
So I get back in. I still couldn't feel them. Well, this happens about 2 more times as we're going. And I'm kind of like getting pissed because I woke up, went to the bathroom before we left. No coffee, nothing to drink, so this won't happen. And it's already about the 3rd time I had to pull over.
Whoa.
Right.
Did you try to say something at any of those times? You said this is going on for a little while now. I mean, did you try to speak to him or something or talk or anything?
Yeah. Well, at this point, I was starting to bargain with him, saying, how, look, I know it's cold up here in the mountains. I'll take you into, like, Utah. Even Vegas is good.
Yeah.
You can hide in one of the alleyways and scare people. It's warm there.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, now I had to pull over one more time. Then we're driving, and all of a sudden, you know, information sign says 70 West closed ahead. All vehicles must exit. So they ended up putting us into one of those big parking lots that they have up there. And we're sitting there. Of course, I stopped. I parked. And now I got to pee just because I stopped. So I get out. I come back in, and I don't feel him no more. He is gone now.
Wow. I guess.
And I'm all like,
Vegas was not on his agenda.
He liked the cold.
Right.
He did. He wanted to stay there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there, and we're there for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Finally, everybody started leaving. They opened up the interstate. So driving, all of a sudden we're coming up to a crash area.
Whoa.
And there is the trailer tipped over on the guardrail, hanging off to the side a little bit.
Man, if you tell me it had a W on the back, I'm going to freak out.
It had a W on there.
Holy Santa Claus shit.
And I was like, son of a bitch, that was the trailer I was following. So then I was thinking, well, hey, was the shadow person delaying me to get me away from that person?
Yeah.
To save me from crashing into him?
Because it would have been you.
Or
you would have been right there.
Yeah. Right. To me, or was he there to save that guy? So after he tipped over, I would have hit him and he would have went over.
Yeah.
So who knows? It was for me or him. Yeah.
Either way,
so
those shadow people definitely interfered with the course of the events of that evening, no matter what way you cut it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, that's a good story.
There's a story for you.
That's a cool story.
Yeah.
Ooh, dude, thank you for sharing that.
Thanks for letting me call you on that, my man. That was a good one.
Yep. You do take care, and hello, Mama X.
Hello. Safe travels, dude.
All right.
Yep.
See you, man. Wow. So, yeah, Shadow. I've never heard a story about Shadow.
I've read about him in Harry Potter. They're called Dementors in Harry Potter.
Okay, well, I don't think he was having a Harry Potter moment. I'm just saying.
That was their name. Somebody wrote in here that their shadow people are people that are changing dimensions, traveling through dimensions.
Huh. Well,
what they're saying.
That would make sense if you have a shadow creature going through the cab of your truck. I'm going to think that they're interdimensional to some degree.
You know what I thought it was? I thought he was going to say that it was that the driver of the truck that was a W passed away, like died.
Oh.
And he was coming back.
I kind of got the gist where he was going with this is that the shadow people delayed him enough so he wasn't part of the accident.
Yeah.
It's just something simple.
I was going the other direction, but when he said that, I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Just a side note, Scott Royston just gifted 5 memberships over on the YouTube channel.
Scott, he's showing up, man. Scott representing even on an off the record show. Thank you, Scott.
Also, there is a Kathy Harden over on YouTube that just said, I love the General's energy and mood on this podcast. I've only seen him with his son, which I totally love. This is fun. Having Gen X Mom on is a bonus too.
Now, who is that?
Kathy Harden. She is not a member.
Kathy, listen to this. Kathy, you need to you want to hear a demeanor similar to this? We're going to do one tomorrow. We're doing a podcast. My wife and I do a podcast. We're in our 4th year. And if you tune in, she kicks the shit out of me for an entire hour. You'd love it. You'd love it. Absolutely. That's her favorite thing to do. She gets 1 hour. She just beats me up and then throws away the key when she's done, Kathy. Kathy Harden, thanks for tuning in and having a comment there. I have something on the phone I want to ask you about.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you who said it, but it's someone that we're very familiar with.
Okay.
It says, I was bitten by a gnome in a tree when I was in 3rd grade.
A gnome in a tree?
I was bitten by a gnome in a tree when I was in 3rd grade.
Oh.
Christina Dvorak.
Really?
Yes. Should I call her?
That's an interesting. I didn't know gnomes were real, to be honest with you.
And they bite. Apparently they bite.
Did you pinch him, Christina?
Were you fucking with the gnome, Christina? Were you fucking with the gnome? You shouldn't. Were you poking him with a stick? Yeah, no wonder you got bit. All right, I'm going to call her and ask. She didn't say I could call or couldn't call, but she did forward the story. So maybe I know she doesn't like to do this, but I'm going to ask her. Maybe she'll just give us a quick version, okay? All right, let's call Christina. Let's do it. Let's see if she's calling. Let's see if she'll answer the phone. Here we go. Christina Dvorak. She's going to put me on ignore. Hello?
Hi.
Do you have me on speakerphone, Christina? Because it's a little hard to hear you.
Yeah, hang on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Christina, first of all, you know I love you. You know that. But I got to tell you, I don't think a gnome would just bite you for no reason. So I want to hear your story. But be honest, if you were fucking with the gnome, if you were poking him with a stick or something, you got to include that. Don't leave it out. All right?
Okay, I was not doing that, though.
All right, so tell us the story. 3rd grade, how did you end up near a tree with a gnome? And I am all ears, baby, all ears.
Okay, so I lived in a town called St. Charles, Minnesota.
All right.
And I lived in a trailer park that was up on top of a hill cliff.
Okay.
And the hill cliff was all trees.
Gotcha.
So it was literally, I was surrounded by trees. So we would go play in the trees all the time.
Sure.
I climbed trees. I was like a little monkey growing up. And I climbed this one tree one day, and there was a flat surface of where 2 other parts of the tree started growing.
Yeah.
And I reached up, and as I reached up to try to pull myself up, I was bit, and I got to the point where I could see the top, and it was literally a gnome, like David the gnome.
Okay, what does a gnome look like? I'm thinking of a garden gnome like that you see in people's front yards. What did it look like?
Did you not ever watch David the gnome?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my God, Gen Xer. You
Okay,
never watched
I don't know what
David the
I'm
gnome?
sorry. Maybe I was watching Gumby or Davy and Goliath or something. I don't know. David the gnome.
So, Yes. David the gnome. It's, yeah, pretty much like a garden gnome.
Okay, so they're small. They're like under a foot tall.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
very, very small.
What was
Like
he?
probably 3-4 inches tall.
Oh my God, that's tiny. That's like a coffee cup.
Yeah.
Okay, now hold
They're
on a second.
very, very tiny.
Was he? Does this gnome had like feet and hands? Right? They do, right?
Yep. They
Were
are
they
just
wearing-
tiny little bodies.
Were they clothed, or was it like wearing leaves? I don't know what a gnome looks like, so I'm not making fun. I'm really asking.
He was wearing clothes.
Okay.
Like handmade little clothes.
And
And
how do
he
you
had
know
a little pointy top hat.
How do you know he bit you?
Because he looked right at me and started pointing at me. Like
my
I was the one in the wrong for climbing that tree.
Well, technically, it wasn't your tree. Now, was it?
Exactly.
I'm just saying. And
Yeah,
so he didn't
but
speak
I
or make
got
any noise,
bit.
right? He didn't say anything.
I screamed. He didn't say anything. No. He literally just looked at me and like pointed a finger at me and shook it.
Whoa. And did you fall, lose your grip, or were you okay?
I climbed back down and ran home and told my mom. And she didn't believe me. And she came out to the tree and she still didn't believe me.
Because
So to this day, my mom thought I just made it up.
But you didn't. It really happened.
No, it really happened. Like I've told this story to multiple people over the last 3-4 decades. And my story has never changed.
Have you told your mom? Have you stayed with the same story and told your mom over and over?
I did. My mom passed away 14 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, I mean, I did. I tried to get her to realize, like, I was never lying about that. I don't know if she ever believed me, but
I've never. First of all,
I didn't know they were real.
No, I didn't know.
Or-
I didn't know that a garden gnome. Well, I've just figured they were like 6 inches tall,
statue.
and they were fat with a big beard, and like a miniature Santa Claus or something. That's all I knew. What do I know? I don't know about a gnome. But the
well,
way
I think you need to look up David the Gnome and watch some of those cartoons.
Okay, I will do that. But you know what it reminds me of, size-wise? Do you remember that movie that came out in the 90s called The Indian in the Cupboard?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
I'm picturing that size in full human form.
Yes.
That's what I'm picturing.
Yes. Pretty much.
Wow. Well, Christina, thank you for letting me call you on that. I appreciate that so much. We'll
Yes,
talk again
thank
soon,
you.
dear. Okay?
Thank you, Christina.
Okay, have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Love you all. Bye.
Love you too. KGXTradio.com. The show is called Off the Record with the General. We are just we're taking text messages, 805-460-5603. If you have something interesting, you text it to me. I'll give you a call. Then you can tell us all the whole story. I'm just saying.
This is a cool night. Another one.
Yeah, I'm digging this.
Episode 2.
Episode 2. I have one big downer.
Oh man, why are you gonna do that?
I'm sorry. I fucked up. I forgot to hit record for the first 20 minutes.
You are in so much trouble.
I know.
You know who's gonna be mad at you?
Who?
Two Bear and Low Torque.
They weren't the ones asking tonight. Wasn't it Callie or Sahara or somebody was asking?
Shy.
Oh, Shy, yeah.
But Two Bear asked me if it was gonna be recorded.
God damn it.
Good job.
I know. I fucked that one up. All right, what do you...
Broadcast professional.
Hey, I am a trained broadcast professional. Thank you very much. I have nothing to do with... Did I say I was a recording specialist? No. That's Two Bear's son, and he's not here, so I'm on my own. When I have recording equipment, I'm like a monkey fucking a football. I have no idea what's going on. It just feels good. Now, do you got anything between the sheets you want to talk about while I look up?
No, just people talking about it. They really are enjoying the stories and listening to people. So yeah, it's really a good night.
Would you believe it if I told you someone texted in like a long time ago, like an hour ago, and they have another ghost story about a shadow person?
No way.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm reading it right now. I scrolled back. The other story was already done, and
Yeah.
these guys had already texted before that story even began.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Okay, this is a ghost story. I lived in a townhouse in Sandy, Oregon. I saw a full body shadow person about 7 feet tall in the master bathroom. And this is the Grinch. We know him by another name, but he didn't give me permission. But should I call him and ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
The
I'm gonna
Grinch
call
is on the Discord server.
Okay, well, I'm going to call him right now and see if he wants to be known as the Grinch. We'll call him the Grinch, and we can get an idea on where he's calling from now. You said he lived in Sandy, Oregon during the story, but he didn't say where he was now. Okay, here we go. Call him the Grinch, because the Grinch is not busy right now. It's not Christmas time. He ain't doing shit.
Good evening.
Hey, how the hell are you, my man?
Good. I'm at work, but I'm good otherwise.
You're a little echoey. Do you got me on speakerphone?
I do not, but I have it on my headset, so let me turn it off. So give me just a sec.
Okay. Dum,
He's at work.
dum, dum, dum.
Is that better?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
much
tons better. Okay.
Sorry.
First of all, Grinch, what part of the world are we calling you from, or you to? Where the hell are you is what I'm asking.
Okay, so I'm at work, so I'm in Portland, Oregon, at the hospital I work at.
Okay, far out. I just want you to know that for the better part of my life, Portland was one of the most beautiful cities I'd ever seen, just so you know.
Fair enough. I would agree with you, except for now it's kind of a dumpster fire.
I did say for the most part of my life, it was such a beautiful, beautiful city to go to. I really enjoyed it. Just not so much lately, but just so you know, have spent my fair amount of time there. Okay, have you been listening to the program tonight at all?
Yeah, I've listened to both, and I listened to the one on the QJXC radio yesterday.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Listen, I didn't know about shadow people, and now you've got a shadow person story.
Yeah,
So
I've never seen a ghost. Yeah,
you got to just tell me. Tell me. Go ahead. No. You lay it out there, my man. This is the Grinch. This happened. He said in Sandy, Oregon. I want to hear it, man. Tell me away.
Okay, so me and my current wife, we rented this place. Yeah, I knew that I'd get Mama X.
Yeah.
Anyway.
How did you know that she smiled? She giggled that she was trying to hold it back.
I've been married for so long. I just feel it through the phone.
Yeah, I looked up as soon as you said that. I looked up and she was grinning, trying to hold it back. All right, my man. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No,
Please,
okay.
The floor is yours.
Okay, so we were running this townhouse about 2016-ish, 2015, and we had been noticing some sounds, right? So we'd be asleep. It'd be like 10 o'clock at night. I would swear to you, we heard somebody break the glass in the front windows and walk in. We'd hear voices, all this weird shit.
Ooh.
So much so that I would rack around in my gun and go downstairs.
Yeah.
And check it out. Okay. That happened countless nights. Until one night, my wife was at a conference, right? She used to do continuing dental education, right? So she was off one of her things. I was home alone. I was playing Destiny with my buddy. I was on headset and we're killing aliens and shit. And sorry, I can't say that.
Yes, you can.
Anyway.
Yes, you can. You're fine.
You're fine.
It's our radio station. We don't care.
So we're over there killing stuff, and I kind of felt like this weird, like a presence, right? So I kind of looked over to my right. Now I'm in the upstairs bedroom, master bedroom. Now to give you kind of a lay of how it was, right?
Yeah, draw it out
That
for me.
was
I'm gonna get lost if you don't.
Okay, so I'm gonna make this out in directions.
Sure.
So the TV is on the north wall.
Okay.
Okay. The bed is on the south wall.
Gotcha.
The entrance to the bedroom is on the west wall.
Okay.
Now, on the east wall is just a big window. Now, on the south wall, where the TV is, on
You said the TV was
left,
on. You said the TV was on the north.
the north wall. Yeah, the north wall. You're right. So the TV is on the north wall. On the left side of that, right, is the closet. On the right side of that is the bathroom.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there playing, and like I said, I get this weird feeling. I kind of look over to my right, and in the doorway, now it's all dark. There's no lights on except for the TV light.
Sure.
Okay. I look over and I see this black mass. It looks about 7 foot tall. Big shadow of a person. And it's literally shaped like a person.
Okay, you
I'm sitting there staring at it.
Hold on, my man. You couldn't have. There couldn't have been a shadow being cast from the TV. You didn't have a Bionic Man action figure or GI Joe action figure near the TV that this was a shadow of or anything.
No, so I don't have anything like that. All the drapes were closed. There's no other way for a light to reflect off of anything.
I'm with you.
Yeah, so otherwise I would have totally just blown it off. I'm with you there. But I look over, right, so I see the shadow, and it's big. It's about 7 foot tall. It's huge. Like if it would have walked through the threshold, it would have knocked its head, right?
Now, let me ask you a question that I didn't ask the other guy. So hang on. When the shadow person, can you see through them, or do they block, like, okay, you can't physically see the door frame or the wall or a picture? I mean, how opaque was it to you?
It was solid.
Wow.
It was a solid black mass.
Wow.
That's what got my attention. I even sit in the headset. I was like, what the fuck?
No shit.
My buddy's like, what? I was like, you're not going to believe this, Chris.
There's a big fucking ball of smoke next to me that looks like a human. That's what.
Yeah, he was like, what? I was like, it's a black mat. As soon as I started saying that, I kid you not, it turned and walked out. It walked through the wall. Now, that wall it walked through, right, was the east wall. That's a wall. I'm on the second story, so it walked into air, into nothing.
Walked right out the window.
Walked right out when there's not even a window in that wall. I just walked right through that wall. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, what the shit did I just see? What?
But I mean, you tell me the truth. Were you drunk? Were you high?
No, I wish I was. Otherwise, it'd be much better.
That explains a lot.
It would. I mean, and that wasn't the only occurrence that's been in that when we were in that townhouse.
No.
So many things. Yeah. So there's a quick one.
Yeah.
I was at work. My wife was home at the time. I went and worked for some overtime. My wife was at work. She was cleaning the house up, and I get this call, and she's frantic. She's like, "Nick, you gotta come home. You gotta come home."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "You just gotta get home right now." I was like, "Why? I can't just leave.
Yeah.
What's going on?" She's like, "Your chair moved." Like, what do you mean, like, chair moved? She's like, your gaming chair. So I have this gaming chair that I sit in front of the bed to play the game on the TV in the bedroom, right?
Gotcha.
Well, apparently, it had moved itself 10 feet into the middle of the entryway door, facing my wife when she was cleaning the kids' room.
Now, did she see it move, or did it just appear there?
She did not. She said she did not see a move. She just looked over, and it was there.
Do you realize how fucking freaky that would be to look over from another room through a doorway, and there is a heavy chair sitting there?
Yes,
that wasn't there a minute ago.
And she didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Like she didn't hear it move.
It's probably on carpet.
Was it on carpet?
It was on carpet, and you could see. You wouldn't hear it move, right? And you could see the indents where it was, where I had set it.
Yeah.
And then where she saw, because I came home, I told my boss, which is the owner of the company, I was like, I have to go. My wife is freaking out.
Yeah. No.
So
kidding.
I go home, and she had went downstairs. She's like, I'm not going back up there until you go look.
So she didn't touch it.
Okay. No, she didn't touch the thing. She wanted me to move it.
And did you get any weird vibes when you were there, or was it kind of just whatever mood was done?
No, I didn't get anything weird on that, and I'm not the most sensitive person when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
So all my kids are like, "Oh my God, it's all I see this person here and that." I'm like, "Sure, whatever."
Yeah, I know. But, yeah, I would have been the same way. It's funny how we get that way until it happens to us. Then,
right?
It changes your perspective in a New York minute, doesn't it? I'll tell you.
Oh, it does. I didn't believe in any of that stuff, and now I was like, okay, well, maybe there's something to this, because you always hear people talk about,
right?
They see ghosts or this, that, and the other thing, and
wow,
like my Aunt Karen, when my grandparents died, she said she saw 2 white roses bloom in the middle of winter out there in Hollister, California.
I heard of someone saying something like that too after a death, that a flower that wasn't in season, never bloomed in the winter. And all of a sudden, the next day had a full blossom on it right after someone had died. I've heard that story, one like that.
Yeah, she even took pictures of it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's unexplainable weird shit. Hey, Grinch, my man, I appreciate you letting me call you tonight. Thank you for explaining. That's two stories in a row about 2 stories about shadow people. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't either.
And now here's 2. We appreciate you letting us call, buddy.
Absolutely. Have a good night there, guys.
See ya.
Thanks, the Grinch. Bye.
Can you believe that? I didn't even know shadow people existed.
I've never heard
I
stories
mean, I've
about
never
that.
heard a thing about that, and then all of a sudden, here we are, and
Two stories.
and 2 stories. God, okay. Whatever you got to say, let me scroll through the phone and see if there's anything else there.
I don't know. People are just commenting. They're enjoying the stories. Gosh, that's crazy. They're all laughing about the current wife comment. They all caught that.
Yeah, someone typed in here, and they're from Calgary, and says we'd like to talk about the floods. And I'm not saying that's a fair topic, but unless you're going to tell me that someone seeded the clouds and made it rain, unless you have something like that that's a conspiracy theory, I'm not saying I don't want to talk about it, but maybe a different show, maybe a world show.
Dragon Slayer Jade asks, are shadow people just black solid ghosts?
That's what it kind of sounds like. See, that's what, when the other guy was talking about them coming through the cab of his truck, Justin, when Justin said that,
that was the dude.
Was that the dude? Not that the dude got chased by the car.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm confused. Now I'm lost. Okay, well, I pictured it coming through the cab of the truck.
Uh-huh.
And when I'm trying to get that image in my head, it kind of seems like smoke to me, like a formed, like dark black smoke in the shape of a person. That's kind of the way I was picturing it in my head. So
doesn't sound like they have faces either.
No. So when the Grinch told me, when he just tells his story, the first question I had to ask is, could you see through it? Because now that gives it a look. He said, no, it was solid. You couldn't see through it. It was 3-dimensional. It wasn't just a shadow. That added a little bit more context to what I was thinking about there. So, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Do you have another story there?
Full of spirits, you see shadows everywhere. Go. Okay, don't know. I'm looking at that. Kevin Grimes says, I have a ghost story from about 34 years ago, my first apartment after marriage. Now, after he got married, after his marriage was over, he didn't really say, because now what comes to my mind with Kevin Grimes is after marriage is like, well, my first wife didn't work out and she put a curse on me. It's my brain, my dumb mechanic in the middle. All right, we'll give Kevin Grimes a call, see if he picks up. He's got a moment for us. Calling Kevin Grimes, see if he's still listening. Dum-dum-dum. Dum-dum-dum.
I'm not going to sleep tonight. You can sleep by the door tonight.
Good evening, General.
Kevin Grimes.
Hello, Kevin Grimes.
So,
and Mama Ed.
yeah, how come everybody seems extra pleased to know you're on the phone tonight? There's only one of us that's a trained broadcast professional.
I'm the better half.
That no argument there. Okay.
Well, not to be offensive, but she's a trained broad professional.
That's true.
Oh.
Now, as long as you don't take offense to the word broad.
Oh, no, I don't take offense to it.
Right.
I have to interrupt for a minute because we just had something pop on YouTube going, the Winning Reality, and their whole crew came over to see what we were talking about, and then it just disappeared. Ooh, maybe that's our ghost. No, they just came online.
Well, okay. Well,
I'm sorry,
we'll
just
have to
popped in.
monitor that and see if
right.
anything comes of that. So, first thing, Kevin, let me ask you something, because we know each other. And I want to. You wrote down your first apartment after marriage. After the marriage started, after the marriage was over. I need a little context there, buddy.
It was after the marriage started. I got married in 1989. This was probably about 1991, 92-ish.
Okay, so at the time, you could say that was your current wife. Let's get that joke out of the way right now.
Right, yeah. She was my electrical wife.
Okay. So give me the story. Give me a little background. Give me the story, my man. I'm ready to believe you. Let's go.
Okay, so I was working the evening shift 4 to midnight. And every night I'd come home and she'd tell me stories about hearing humming while she was trying to put the baby to sleep. Or one night she was laying in bed while I was still at work, and she had the baby laying in his bassinet next to her.
Right.
And all the lights out in the house, and all of a sudden this white spot comes around the corner into our bedroom and probably disappears about the foot of the bed.
Okay.
So she told me about
back up a little bit before we go further. Tell that part of the story one more time, and then be a little more descriptive of how she told it to you. I just need to get a better visual in my head, my man.
Are you trying to visualize my ex-wife naked?
Absolutely. I can't help it, and I need pictures. God damn it! Was there a video camera rolling at the time? No, just tell me that one part again.
So she was laying in the bed after putting the baby to sleep. Had
Right.
laid him in the bassinet, and she was just laying there trying to, I guess, rest up until I got home.
Right.
All the lights in the house were out. Doors were locked. The whole works. And all of a sudden, she sees a white spot come around the corner. We lived in a small 2-bedroom apartment.
Okay. Now, this is what I'm asking. A light spot come around the corner. Now, is this like a floating ball, or is this like what a flashlight would look if you shine it on the ground and it's moving along the ground? I'm trying to get.
Well, see, that's what I had asked her. I asked her. I said, "Was it floating? Was it on the floor?" And she said, "No, it was in the carpet or on the carpet."
Okay. All right.
So she said it moved slowly. Now, back then I moved quickly, so I move slowly now, so I assume it was probably, just inches per second instead of
right.
feet.
Now, any open windows? Could a light have been coming in through a window?
Nah, we kept everything closed up. We never opened windows. We're not public people or anything like that.
I know. I'm just trying to get in my mind, like no helicopters from far away, no strangers out looking for their dog with a flashlight, nothing like that, right?
No, sir.
All right. Continue.
So she told me the story about the light coming into the room, and then she had told me stories about how she was sitting in her recliner in the living room one night, and with the screen door locked and the deadbolt locked on the door, and all of a sudden the inner door popped open.
Wow.
No screen door movement, but the door from the inside opened up, with the deadbolt still engaged.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. How could the door pop open with the deadbolt engaged? I mean, those go in an inch and a half or so into the door frame.
That's a good question. I had asked her if she got into my weed, and she told me no.
That's a good first question to ask. You got to walk over and say, "Honey, if I go and some of my stash is gone, we're going to have words."
Oh, that biting words. Absolutely.
Yeah. But okay, I'm just putting it in my head, my man. I'm just trying to logic my way through it. Remember, dumb mechanic. I think very literally.
Right. So, as you can imagine, I was pretty skeptical, up until a certain point when I had a night off. I'm sitting at the dining room table.
Right.
Now, to give you a little visual, our dining room table was probably 4 feet around, sat in the corner of the living room under a teardrop chandelier.
Gotcha.
Extended from probably a 3 or 4 foot long wire.
Okay.
So, single bulb teardrop chandelier. I'm sitting there, I'm playing solitaire on the dining room table. She's on the couch, probably 2.5 feet away from me.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, the chandelier starts to swing in a circle, a small circle.
You didn't feel an earthquake or anything. You're not in earthquake land at this point, right?
Nah. No.
If you're telling me at the time you lived in Sylmar, California, I kind of got an idea on what's going on. But I'm just saying.
Right. No. We were still in St. Charles County, Missouri. So,
okay.
In
a circle. Wow.
Yeah, it started going in a circle, probably 3-4 inches around, and then all of a sudden it grew into a larger circle and a larger circle, and it was probably about 1.5 foot
Holy shit.
circle at the max point. Well, at that time I was kind of a rough and ready kind of guy, and I just slammed my fist down on the table and just yelled out, "Knock it the fuck off!"
Oh,
And that chandelier just dropped dead straight right to the center of the table.
No.
No movement, no
Wow.
circles. Oh, absolutely.
like it didn't even
And-
wind down slowly. It just dead stop, full stop.
Full stop. Just sat right there. And I think about a week after that, my little brother had come to visit, and I convinced him to climb up into our attic and see if there was like something living up there or anything like that.
Fair point, fair assessment there. Yeah. What did he find?
Probably about a 30-year-old tool belt that was completely empty.
Oh. Interesting.
You know, let me ask you something, because I should have been asking this all along. When people have a story like this, is there, does anybody ever think that maybe something from the other side is trying to communicate? I mean, I know you got mad, and we've heard several stories tonight where someone just goes, "Well, fuck it, I'm just getting pissed and I'm going to handle this situation." I might do the same thing.
Yeah.
But at any point, did anybody ever stop and think, okay, something or someone is trying to communicate, and maybe that's the only way they know how?
Well, it sounds like it was wanting, it sounded like it was like a little kid wanting attention. Like, I'm right here, like just kind of messing around, like, hello.
Well, okay.
Right.
Let me ask you this then: what would an adult have done to get their attention? If that's a little kid who's a ghost on the other side, and he's like just fucking around, spinning the light, you're telling me no, it's probably just a child.
What's an adult going to do? What
I'm
can
asking
you.
you.
Do? Maybe
That's
that's what he's doing. I mean, I'm saying
Maybe it
acting
was
like
an adult.
childlike.
Yeah, well, no, you made it sound like there was a little baby child giving him a bunch of shit, like a 5-year-old
Okay, a
fucking with him.
man-child
Okay.
with a tool belt.
All right, you're just not. What do you want him to do? Flick an adult ghost would flick the lights off in Morse code? Is that what you're saying? What?
You never know.
I don't know. What do you think, sir? Give me an explanation.
The way I looked at it was relatively passive, according to my ex-wife.
Yeah.
But then I'm sitting at the table, and it got kind of. I mean, putting a half swing on a chandelier is pretty aggressive. So I was pretty convinced that it just didn't like me.
And here's the gig, and this is where I agree with Kevin. Remember, he said it started out circling small.
Right.
Then it got bigger. I'm assuming a little faster as it gets bigger. He put a stop to it before it went further. That fucking thing could have turned into a helicopter for all he knew. So when you get to that
Just
point,
ripped the roof right off my apartment.
right, you say, you know what, fuck it, I'm putting a stop to this right goddamn now. I mean, I'm kind of with him on that. You don't want to just wait and see how long this goes on. At some point, you got to take control of your own destiny. I'm with you on that, my man.
All right.
Right.
Kevin.
And my ex-wife begged me to quit my job and start staying home, and I was like, that's not going to happen. You got bills.
Hey, Kevin, thanks for playing along with us tonight. Thanks for letting us call you. Really interesting story, my man. I dig that.
Right on. I appreciate you calling.
Yeah, we'll talk again soon, Kevin. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yep. Good night.
Good night.
Kevin Grimes, long-time participant in the Gen X Talks family.
I guess what we learned tonight is you need to confront these ghosts.
Yeah.
They seem to disappear when somebody like makes a comment toward them or directs something toward them.
And this is bringing up for me Sunny point number 2, which I just said. Why? Okay, if they can respond when you get mad and you say something or you do something or you get violent or angry, could they not also respond to like cookies and milk? Could you say, "Hey, would you like to sit down? Would you like to talk? Can I put on a record for you?"
You would.
I would string that shit out as long as I fucking possibly could.
You would.
I would not chase it away. I'd be like,
you'd be pouring shots for the thing.
I thought, yeah, man, let's figure that whatever your issue is, man. I can see you swinging the chandelier around. I'm here with you.
What do you need to tell me?
Unless I feel like I'm getting punked by Ashton Kutcher or something, that wouldn't go over well.
You would totally have a conversation with this thing.
I wish I could.
Oh my gosh.
I really wish I could on that. All right.
Hey, Mom, did you hear that? Mom, come talk to Mark.
Oh, your mother talks to me all the time. We're fine.
Oh, okay.
She's got advice.
Okay.
There's a couple in here. Let's see. You got anything between the sheets you want to talk about?
No, they're just commenting on the great story from Kevin Grimes. Noel says Kevin Grimes ain't afraid of ghosts. Ghosts are afraid of Kevin Grimes.
Well, that's because he's related to Chuck Norris. So a little bit of checking there.
That's fine.
I won't say his last name. Didn't get permission. There's a few things in here, but this one, it interests me a little bit. And for many different reasons. I'm going to say his first name, Dale.
Okay.
Not sure where he's checking in from. I think this is typically a Facebook name who comments, but I might be wrong. I might be wrong on that. It might be a YouTube guy. His name's Dale, and he says, for several years after my parents died in 1998, or after my parents died, I'm sorry, comma's in the wrong spot. Let me try again. For several years after my parents died, 1998 and 04, they visited.
Oh, my parents said a couple things about my grandparents, their parents visiting.
So
in our house.
Look, I
didn't witness it.
I'm not even asking. I got to call Dale.
Go ahead.
I got to hear this and see if Dale will pick up the phone. If he does, I'm going to be very happy. I'll be a happy general if Dale answers. Dum.
Yo.
Dum.
Pick up the phone.
He's getting his whiskey. Now he's drinking his whiskey.
Now he's going to the bathroom.
He's pouring another glass.
One ring.
Good evening, General.
Oh, hey,
there
Dale.
he is. Dale, my man, I tell
I'm not
you.
the general, but I'll take it.
He wasn't talking to you.
And Mama X.
There we go.
Thank you, Dale.
I almost got through the beginning of that call and had nothing to do with
I'm
you.
feeling like I'm almost as famous as you now, and I'm not even on the videos. So.
Okay, you need to stop that. These are my friends, and I'm allowing you into my He-Man Woman Haters fort to participate, but I can throw you out just as fast. Don't you think I can? Okay.
All right. Talk to Dale. You're interested in the story.
Dale,
so go.
First of all, where are you calling from? Where am I calling you from? What part of the world are you in?
Well, I'm in Southern Illinois.
Okay, fair enough. Now, please explain what you texted me. I kind of read it. It was short and to the point. Thank you. I can't tell you how many people decide they're going to tell me the entire story in a text message. I got to read 16 paragraphs before I understand what they're talking about. I'm here reading and Gen X mom's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to read this person's, message to see." And she goes, "You're still reading? What's it about?" I go, "I can't tell if it's a ghost, an alien, or skateboards. I'm still not to the end of the story yet." So, Dale, thank you for making it concise, my man. It worked out really well.
All right, so in 98, my mom, who was a heavy smoker up until about the mid-'80s, and then she had to quit. But anyway, in 98, she died from emphysema. And then my dad, who was 10 years older than my mom, he died in 04, just basically from, old age.
Gotcha.
He'd had a stroke back in the, I'm thinking 89 or 90.
Okay.
So my mom was his caretaker, caregiver, guardian over his person and finances, and then after she died, I got the job. So I'm like an only middle child.
Okay.
And I have two sisters older than I am that are 9 and 10 years older than me, of course. And then my brother is 10 and a half years younger than me.
Wow.
So that's why I tell people I'm an only middle child.
Yeah, I get the description now, man. That's pretty accurate. Okay, I'm with you.
All right. So anyway, I took over looking after my dad, and then he basically died of natural causes in 04.
Okay.
And then after everything, the property and everything was split up, I bought the house that I was raised in off of my 3 siblings.
Okay.
Bought out their shares of it.
Sure.
I got the house. And then for several years after that, I lived here by myself. And then, of course, like I say, there's nobody else in here, no dogs, no cats, no people.
All right.
And I would hear footsteps, walking up and down the hall. And it wasn't, it wasn't the house settling, because it was steady footsteps in the hall, because if you don't know exactly where to step in the hallway, it creaks.
See, that's something I was waiting to bring that up, and you did it first. I remember that. in the house I was raised in, I knew where to step. I knew where not to step. My parents didn't care. They didn't. It was their damn house. They just step wherever they want. But I knew where to be quiet. So when you said that, you're like, either someone doesn't know or they're very familiar with the house and just don't care. I mean, you're right. And you know the noises it makes when you step there. You could probably tell me every noise from every step. So if someone made a noise stepping, you say, "Oh, they're on the left side of the hallway, halfway down." You know that stuff. You really do.
Yeah, and the hallway is hardwood floors, so and of course, I know where to step in the hallway not to make the noises from coming in after
Sure.
curfew.
Yeah,
trying to not. And of course, the parents were light sleepers, so it's like I got to sneak down the hall, get to the bedroom without them knowing about it.
Yep.
So anyway, so there's the footsteps in the hallway, and then ever so often, I would hear my mom call my name, and then usually within a few days after hearing my mom's voice of saying Dale, then I would hear my dad's voice.
Wow.
And now my mom was 5'1", my dad was 6'6".
Was there? Let me ask you this before you go on. Was there ever an inflection? Like, was your mom calling you gently or nicely? I mean, was it? Was she calling for you, or was she calling like she wanted your attention?
She was calling like she wanted my attention over something.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So it was Dale. It wasn't Dale.
Right.
But it was like, when you're trying to, get somebody's attention, you call their name in a certain way.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, you.
Yes.
So that's what it was like. And my dad's voice was the same way. And, every once in a while out of the peripheral, out of the periphery of my vision, I would see something, see movement. And there again, like I say, I'm the only one living here.
Yeah.
So I know it's not, a family member, at least a living one anyway.
Yeah, but out of
the corner of the eye, you see something move.
But what they'll tell you is like, well, air conditioner heater came on and there was a breeze to the house. Maybe you saw a door move a little bit because the breeze hit it, or a drape, a curtain, or move some. That's where the first thing people are going to say is that type of a thing. You'd have to be pretty sure that the area that you saw something, nothing could have moved. There wasn't anything there to move.
Well, it's kind of hard for things to move in the hallway when it's just a wood floor and solid sheetrock walls, with the occasional doorway, for a bedroom and then a bathroom and then a master bedroom and the third bedroom is at the end of the hall.
And no doors moving. No doors partially moving, like a couple inches, nothing.
Nope. Because at the sections where I would see something move out of the corner of my eye, there was no doorways.
Okay.
So I was in between doorways. So, it wasn't like, it was a door that could have moved, or it was a ceiling fan blowing blinds or curtains or drapes or anything like that around.
I just had to check, my man. I just got to poke a little bit and ask a couple of questions. That's all.
Hey, I'm good with that. I mean, let's get the doubting possibilities out of the way.
Well, I can send the Ghostbusters over with their spectrometer. We can see if it raises up and the lights come on, my man. We could always check if we had to.
Well, I got married married to my current wife in 07.
I like that.
Wow. Okay, guys. Real funny.
I had an ex-wife, so all this happened between the ex-wife and the current wife.
Yeah, you said you were alone. So, okay, listen, was there anything else other than that? You heard the voices, you see some stuff. Was there anything else?
Other than that, other than it going on for probably, about 3 years, right up until I started dating my wife and then we got married. Once that happened, it quit. I have it. Now, my mother-in-law, who came to live with us after her husband died, I've mentioned something to her about it one time, and she said that. No, I take that back. It wasn't my mother-in-law. It was a girlfriend I had at the time who claimed to be sensitive. She claimed to be able to see ghosts, hear ghosts, talk to spirits. Also claimed to have.
We call that psychically sensitive. Yes, that's a good word.
Yeah, there you go. And now, I had said something to her about it during this time, and she said, when she came over to visit, that she had talked to my parents too.
Wow.
But I kind of took that with a grain of salt.
Well, yeah, because you kind of mentioned it to her first, and it probably would have carried more weight with you if you hadn't told her anything. Yeah, that's right. That's where I was going with that. Yeah. Hey, Dale, man, I can't thank you for letting us call you tonight. Thanks for spinning that story out where we could all hear it. Appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, we'll talk again soon, my man.
Thank you, Dale. Good night.
All right. Good night.
Bye-bye. Okay, well, now see, this is what people don't understand. Listeners can get bored. They can be okay. But can you imagine being there and you're all alone in your childhood house. You hear the footsteps. You hear your mother's voice. And then for 3 years of this happening, you see things move out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's a whole different thing when you're there. We're on the outside looking in, and, maybe a guy can't find the right words to convey it, but imagine being there and you're the person going, holy shit, I'm hearing these things, I'm seeing these things, and I'm all by myself.
Yeah.
That's something.
Can I tell a story real quick?
Go ahead.
So on the last few weeks of my mom being alive, I was with her by myself. I remember telling you the story.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't know it. She was about 2 weeks away from passing away, but didn't know what the time frame was.
Sure.
But she kept telling me she'd look down the house. The house was long, so she'd look out her bedroom door into the family room area, and she goes, whose little girl is that out there? And I'm like looking out the doorway, and I go, Mom, we're the only ones here. She goes, there's a little, then I started asking her questions. I said, hey, Mom, how old is she? Oh, she's about like 5 or 6. I'm like, there's no girl, Mom. She says, yeah, she's running around. And my mom would get the biggest smile on her face. And I'm like, who is it? She goes, I don't know. So that wasn't the first time. Then it was like the next night, I'm putting her to bed, and she goes, oh, that little girl, she's right there. And my mom's looking.
Wow.
And I'm like, where is she? She goes, oh, she's running across the family room. And I'm freaking out a little bit because I'm not seeing it.
No.
And I'm like, Mom, what does she look like? She goes, oh, she's got long black hair. She's about 5 or 6. Oh, she's so beautiful. I went, okay, I'm not seeing it. Next night, same thing happened. And she goes, oh, I know who that is.
No.
Yeah, she told me, and I'm like, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm getting it down, but I got goosebumps when she told me, and
You literally are getting goosebumps on your arm right now telling the story.
She says, that's my little sister.
What?
I said, what? She goes, that's my little sister. Her little sister passed away when her little sister was 10. My mom was 14. My mom at the age she passed away was 89.
I didn't know that so you had an aunt.
Yes, I had an aunt. My mom had a sister. Wow. And she goes, that's Roseanne.
How did she die? What happened?
She had a brain tumor. That was her mom died of a heart, but my aunt had a brain tumor.
I wonder if your brother, the Sun Valley Fox, knows that story about
I don't know.
Wow.
I think I told him.
But your mom's 3 nights in a row, she kept saying the same thing.
Yes, she kept saying this, but I never saw it. But it gave me goosebumps because my mom was very adamant that
here's the skeptics will come at you and say this. You already said that she was 2 weeks away from passing, although you didn't know it at the time.
Right.
How was her other behavior? Was she goofy, loony, quirky, and then all of a sudden, oh, silly me, I'm loopy. Oh, there's a girl there. Or was she normal, coherent, conversations?
She was normal, but she was tired most of the time. Like nothing excited her. Like, but when she saw this little girl, she got excited.
I'm trying to connect
she was not loopy. She wasn't on any drugs.
That's all I'm asking.
She wasn't on painkillers.
Okay.
She was just acting normal, but I had never, it had been months since she made this big smile on her face.
Right.
Like, but it was just her and I in that house. It was
Wow.
just really interesting.
Yeah, that's something. I don't remember that story. Okay, let's see here. We got some more stuff. I'm thinking about this one here. 403 area code. Hold on, I'm thinking about yours. If I was even trying to get in the house. Now, see, I'm dealing with a few text messages here.
Yes.
More than a few. And they write something, and I kind of read it and skip over it because I'm reading them all. So they write again, and they're kind of amping up the story a little bit. And by the third
little
time,
teaser?
well, they're like, I can't tell whether they're giving me a teaser to the story or whether they're saying, and by the way, I was abducted by aliens. I didn't want to tell you. Like they're trying to get me to call them, so they're amping up the story maybe a little bit beyond what it is. I don't know. Or they could. So I'm looking. Let's see. Yes, I can afford a call to Canada. My God, my man, relax for a second there. Sandy, our good friends, I continue with the family members that come back and sent messages. Okay, yeah, she believes in some of that stuff there. Okay, there's a couple in here that I'm hanging on to, but I'm going to go ahead and get one of them. I'm going to do it. There's a 403 area code. T-Man, Teeman from Canmore, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. How many places are there in Canmore, Calgary? Pick one. Where the fuck are you from, dude? Canmore, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. All right, T-Man. Now, I'm just saying, he wants to talk about the floods, which I kind of skipped over, how I predicted it.
Oh.
So there's a little twist there. We haven't done anything like that. So I give him a call. Then he's like, well, can you call Canada? Can you afford it? Yeah, I can fucking afford to call to Canada.
I actually called that guy a troll at first on YouTube.
Why?
Because he kept saying about the flood and the flood and the flood. And he was saying
He's pretty adamant about the flood.
Yeah, but then I called him. I was just like, dude, are you a troll? And he goes, no, I really want to. I said, okay, then text the phone.
So here's the deal. I'm going to give him a call. I can't afford a call to Canada. I just sold a bunch of my wife's pictures on the internet, and the Zelle money came through. So we're okay. We can afford. Thank you, honey.
I apologize, T-Man, for calling you a troll.
All right, let's see if this goes through or if T-Mobile blocks me.
Yeah, everybody on YouTube saw it. I said to text you, so,
Need your permission to enable. No, I don't want to. No. We're not doing a camera call. What the fuck, man? No. Let's try this again. I just wanted a regular phone call. Why did it try to go to a? Okay, here it goes. Now it's going through. All right, let's see. T-Man. Let's see.
This number has call control. To get through, please press 3.
What the fuck does that mean?
I've never heard that before.
Please, incoming video call, and I'm shutting that off because I don't want
This number has call control.
Yeah, I heard you the first time. Shut up.
He's going to have to call you.
Hello?
Oh, there he is. Are you there?
Hello? And he's gone.
No, I don't know what happened there. I'll try it one more. It said he's trying to call video call. I don't do video calls. Calls on hold. Hey, T-Man, don't put your phone down. Let me do the calling. Let me try it again. Don't call back. Now we're both trying to call each other and it's getting all fucked up. Let me try again. All right, here we go.
This number has call control.
Okay.
To get through, please press 1.
1. Okay. I pressed 1. Let's see if it works. Da-dum-dum. Wow, 1 ring and then it went dead. That's weird. It acts like it's connected, but I can't hear anything. I don't know. The Canadian stuff's not working. I don't know. T-Man, we'll have to figure that out and give you a call back another time. Listen, I've been recording for over an hour, and I missed the first 20 or 30 minutes of recording. So we're running a little bit long. I'm going to have to re-record an intro saying I apologize. We missed the first 20 minutes, but if you guys want to listen, because we are putting these up on Spotify. There's a whole playlist. This is only the second one, but it's going to grow. I think we're going to have some action with this. This is a lot of fun. Make sure you're telling your friends. You guys got to tell your friends that they can call in and they can listen. That's really important. We're going to run out of regulars hours in here, and then we're going to be telling the same stories over again. Listen, we're gonna cut it off and head it out. I'm going to keep some in here, and then I can call you guys back. We'll try to work out that thing with T-Man to get him on there and see if we can't make that work for the next time around. But there's a few that I didn't get to. Scott, I know you're in there, buddy, and we'll straighten them out. The people that I didn't quite understand your messages, I'm going to go ahead and text you after the show's over and say, hey, I didn't quite know what you mean. Explain it a little clearer. I'll save the messages in the phone. And then next Wednesday, when we go off the record, we'll talk again. And that way we can get you guys in the phone calls. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, sounds like a great plan.
Anything in between the sheets I need to know about?
Oh, people are saying this is going to need a longer format at some point, Danny H. said.
It might be true. Yeah.
How long was Art Bell? 2 or 3 hours?
Yeah, Art Bell used to go 3 hours. And then and so did George Norrie. I think George still does.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they go a long time. They can just sit and they order a pizza and pour a drink and they just keep talking. But there's stuff, you can even go, one of the things you can do is you can announce to people what you want to talk about if there's a topic too. And the only way we can do that is you guys have to join Patreon. That's the easiest way. If you're on Facebook, you can join the General's Lunchbox. Or if you're here, we got a lot of memberships in here on YouTube. We can contact you guys by posting things just for members. But on Patreon, we can actually send you a quick email. And we don't do that very often. We don't do, very seldom do you guys get something. But what I'm saying is that I can send you guys an email saying, hey, by the way, next week, if you want to talk about Area 51, or look something up or you get some questions, you know what I mean? That's the only way. So moderators need to be putting up on the screen right now how to link people to Patreon. It's $1. It's $1. Yeah, Gen X Mom.
Also, KGXT Radio has a Facebook page. And on the Facebook page, I have put a running notification of events. The event for this, Off the Record, is there. If you sign up on there, if you go to the Facebook page, it will send you a reminder that the show is going to happen. And that's
free. That's just a Facebook page.
That is free.
KGXT Radio on Facebook. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yes.
She has been that. We had like 11 people on that page because I made Josh a moderator 2 years ago and I was popping in once in a while. We're going anywhere. And now you got it like almost 600 people, I think. Or maybe it's 380, but it's growing because you're paying attention to it, and people are tuning in. That's for free, but the Patreon one, which is $1, can give you guys a heads up on what we're doing. I sent one out today. I did it differently. You didn't read it, did you?
No.
I normally send out smoke signals, as we call them in the business, and you guys know this. I send out smoke signals because that is a warning. Sometimes on channels, make sure you hit the bell, like and subscribe, and hit the bell. That way you get the notifications. But the platforms, they still squash conservative thinkers, and they do. We all know that. But they can't stop us from sending smoke signals on Patreon. So we do. But this time I said, this special message has been delivered to you by carrier pigeon. And we'd like the bird back when you're done, please. So at least people get, because that's an old school thing, carrier pigeon. That's something Generation X would know.
So also, since we're on KGXT Radio, tomorrow morning, Thursday mornings, every Thursday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the General and I get on here and we do our weekly broadcast live, podcast live.
Yes.
So it's unedited if you listen at 10 a.m. on Thursday morning Pacific Standard Time.
It turns out you just set your alarm to go off. But again, before we go live, I send everyone a Patreon a quick note. I said, hey, we're going to go live on the podcast in half an hour. See you at 10 o'clock. And that is the unedited live version. Then we edit out all the stuff that my wife and I shouldn't have said over the air, and we put it on a podcast. You guys can pick it up Friday mornings at midnight. But everything you're talking about, Patreon, every link to the radio station, every link to the Facebook page, it's on genxtalks.com.
Yes.
Everything's just a picture of what's going on. Click the picture, away you go. Everyone makes fun of me. Says, look like Windows 95 is how your Facebook, is how your website looks. Well, that's all I fucking know how to do. I don't know how to do a professional website. I don't got the money to hire somebody. So you know what? Yes, it looks like Legos and Tinker Toys. Get over it. I can't help it. But it is informative and it's got all the right links and everything works. So
Gen X Talks has shows from Tuesday night until Saturday night. You just have to go on the website to find out the times, and you can join us here on the radio, on YouTube, on Facebook, on X.
Sometimes Rumble
if they're up and running.
Yep. So just let you guys know, we're off. We try to close down the shows. Sundays and Mondays we're closed, just like Harley Davidson. Remember that. That'll take you a long way.
All right.
Is that it? Are we done? Can we say goodnight, Gracie?
Yeah, let's say goodnight, Gracie.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. Not sure where you tuned in from around the planet, but I'm sure glad you did. Remember 2 things in life. Number 1, wherever you go, there you are. And number 2, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out, baby.